Hello and welcome to the CompTIA Cybersecurity Analyst, CySA Plus, Certification Study Guide. In this video we will discuss Chapter 6.3, More Threat Hunting. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. There are 4 generally recognized threat hunting methodologies. These are intelligence hunting, assumption hunting, IOA hunting, and hybrid hunting. Intelligence hunting. Intelligence-based threat hunting is an active threat hunting technique designed to react according to input primarily derived from threat data feeds and TI, including IP addresses, hash values, and domain names. Another source of intelligence is data provided by certs and CISRT. Intelligence hunting can be integrated with a CM tool and other TI tools, which use the intelligence to hunt for threats. Intelligence can often input the information into a CM system using taxi and sticks. One particularly valuable source of intelligence can come from a technology lure that serves as bait to attract threat actors. A honeypot lure is a computer located in an area with low security that serves as bait to threat actors because it is intentionally configured with security vulnerabilities, making it open to attacks. A honeypot can trick threat actors into revealing their attack techniques and, once discovered, can then be used as a source of intelligence. The number of attempts against a honeypot is staggering. In one study, 10 honeypots around the world were created that simulated the Secure Shell (SSH) service. One of the honeypots started receiving login attempts just 52 seconds after it went online. Once all 10 of the honeypots were discovered, a login attempt was made about every 15 seconds on each one. At the end of 1 month, over 5 million attacks had been attempted on these honeypots. Assumption hunting. Assumption threat hunting involves creating and then testing different types of assumptions, conjectures, or suppositions regarding a threat. Whereas intelligence hunting is based on quantifiable data, assumption hunting is more of a speculation. However, the assumptions are not wild guesses, but do have a foundation. These foundations can be intelligence-based, driven by malware analysis, vulnerability scans, internet-discovered exploits, and intelligence reports and feeds. Intelligence-based hunting uses this information as a starting point, but is then augmented by assumptions. Situation-based. Situational-based hunting looks at specific events or situations that pose a heightened risk to an organization. Analytics-based. Analytics-based hunting makes use of advanced data techniques and user and entity behavior analytics, UEBA, to develop aggregated risk scores that then can be used to formulate speculations. IOA hunting. The most proactive threat hunting technique is investigation using IOA. After identifying a behavior, the threat hunter attempts to locate patterns by searching log repositories for matching hashes or events and monitoring ongoing activities. The goal is locating, identifying, and then isolating the threat to prevent its spread or proliferation. Hybrid hunting. The hybrid threat hunting technique combines all of the above methods: intelligence hunting, assumption hunting, and IOA hunting. It usually incorporates industry-based hunting with situational awareness, combined with specified hunting requirements. This hybrid hunting approach allows security analysts to highly customize the hunt. There are 3 broad categories of steps in threat hunting, particularly as they relate to IOCs. These steps are gathering the IOC and related data from different sources, collection, scrutinizing them for evidence, analysis, and then using them to generate a hypothesis, application. More specifically, the steps in threat hunting are: select the attack model. It is important for an organization to decide how it envisions the process that the threat actors use in order to compromise their assets. This helps define the philosophy of how threat hunting will occur and identify who the threat actors are and how they function, called profiling threat actors and activities. It is important for an organization to select an attack model and use that as a foundation for their threat hunting. Identify the most concerning threats. Not all potential threats are of the same importance. There are a variety of factors that should be considered when identifying the threats that are of the highest level of concern. Depending on the threat model chosen, this step involves going through each of the phases in the model to identify the attacker activities that are most concerning. Create a calendar. The next step is to create a calendar of how frequently to hunt for specific threats. Those activities that are found near the end of the chosen threat model are those of the highest importance because these are the activities that the attacker is about to implement to achieve their desired result, and thus they need to be identified and stopped immediately. The various activities can be organized as having a low impact, medium impact, or high impact. High-impact activities should be hunted more frequently than those with a lower impact. Generate a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a tentative assumption that is made and will then be tested to determine if it is valid. Threat hunting begins with a threat hunter asking basic questions such as, how would a threat actor infiltrate our network? For example, a hypothesis of looking for an instance of ransomware may be, we hypothesize that if our network is infected with WannaCry ransomware, we will see an increase in the rate of file renaming. Investigate the hypothesis. Once the hypothesis is developed, the threat hunter follows up on it by investigating through different tools and techniques. Act on results. Now that the hypothesis has been examined, it will be found to be either true or false. If the hypothesis is found to be false, for example, there is not an increase in the rate of file renaming, it may be concluded that the ransomware has not infected the system. However, this is not an indication of failure. Rather, it simply means that there is no indication of an infiltration based on the specifics of the hypothesis. There could be evidence elsewhere that must be uncovered. What happens if a hypothesis is proven correct? First, this information should be turned over to the SOC so that the infiltration can be rooted out and more secure defensive barriers erected. Second, when possible, successful hunts should be automated to maximize the efficient use of the threat hunting team's time. This can also limit the need to continuously repeat the same hunts. If you find this video useful, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. To see more videos like this, please click in the rectangle in the middle of your screen. To see other videos from this channel, please click the circle on the bottom right. Thanks for watching. We will see you on the next one.